This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, as a child of the late 60s, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, the music that I was listening to back then all seemed to have some kind of facet to it that is sadly lacking in a lot of today's contemporary music, a lot of popular music that's been released nowadays. I was listening to bands like the Beatles and Queen and ELO and ABBA and Steely Dan and who else, I guess, going into the 80s, bands like Bon Jovi were always on the radio. And as I say, a lot of this music had a particular characteristic, would employ a particular technique that you don't tend to hear much of nowadays. Here's a piece of music that I came up with which does employ that particular characteristic. So I am, of course, talking about a subtle, or maybe not so subtle, but the wonderful effect that can be had by a judicious key change every now and again in a piece of music. That tune that you've just heard there had a couple of key changes in it, and if you're interested in writing your own music, or maybe you're not interested in writing your own music, but you are interested in playing other people's music, which means that you need to figure it out and hopefully try and play it from memory, then having an understanding of how songs get put together in the first place is got to be a big advantage. So here's some information on the whole topic of key changes.
Here is the explanation.
Right, let's take a look at the chord sequence from that tune at the top of the video. Here it is. It's in two sections, an A section and a B section, and those are the chords for each one. You can think of it as a verse and a chorus, or whatever you want to, however you want to label them. The A section is written largely in the key of D major. All of the chords in that section, apart from one, come from the key of D major. And then the B section, each and every one of the chords in the B section come from the key of F major. So what I've done here is I've changed key as I go from the A section to the B section. So what we need to know is how closely or distantly related any two keys are, and this is when we begin relying upon this thing here, the circle of fifths. You've probably seen stuff about this before. I've done videos on it, and it's a little bit like cod liver oil. really. You know it's good for you, but you're not quite sure how. Well, one thing that it's absolutely excellent for is relating how closely or distantly related any two keys are. Basically, the closer any two keys are in the circle of fifths, the more closely they'll be related. So, for example, in the A section, I said most of the chords in the A section come from the key of D major. Well, let's have a look at the chords in each of the keys, and you can see in the key of D major, which is sort of, I guess, the 2 o'clock position on that dial, you can see the chords are D, G, A, B minor, E minor, and F sharp minor. Compare that with the chords in the A section of the song. You can see that the C chord isn't from there, but it is in the next door key. It's in, if we go anti-clockwise one step, we come to the key of G, and that has a C chord. So that's just basically borrowing a chord from the next door key. I did a video on borrowed chords a little while back, and this is just another kind of way of looking at that information. So it's a subtle little temporary key change. I'm just borrowing a chord that isn't in the key, so by definition there is a key change happening there, but it's subtle and you don't really perceive it as a seismic shift in what the tonality of the tune is doing. It's just borrowing a chord from next door. Where it gets a little bit more dramatic is when we go to the B section, which is in the key of F. So look at the key of F there. You can see that sort of at the 11 o'clock position on the dial. The chords in that key are F, B flat, C, D minor, G minor, and A minor. Now compare that to the chords in the B section. You can see all of the chords in that B section are in the key of F major. So the reason why it's more noticeable and more dramatic when we go from like the A section of the tune to the B section, from the key of D major, more or less, to the key of F major, is precisely because the key that I'm going to is not just one step next door, like I was borrowing the C chord in the key of D. It's 1, 2, 3 steps anti-clockwise. And that just gives it, because it's less closely related, it's a little bit more of a distant key. That just gives it a little bit more of a dramatic sound. Okay, if I wanted to be really, really dramatic, I could do what Eric Clapton did in Layla, for example. By and large, let's get rid of the chord sequence here for the moment. No, I can't do that. We'll leave it there. By and large, Layla is in the key of D minor for the famous kind of riffy bit, and then it goes to the key of C sharp minor. Now, the key of D minor is the same thing as the key of F major, and the key of C sharp minor is the same as the key of E major. So if we look, F major is kind of at the 11 o'clock position, and E major is down at the 4 o'clock position. That's a much bigger transition in terms of how closely or distantly related the keys are. That's why you get that big sense of something shifting fundamentally when you go from the verse to the chorus, or from the riff to the verse in a song like Layla. There is no right or wrong about this. This is one of the things that many people shy away from music theory, because they think it's a rule book and the rules will tell you what you can't do, and that's going to limit your creativity, right? Well, no, it's not that. It's just a case of if it pleases your ear, you can do it. And if it sounds good, even if it doesn't sound good, if it sounds angry and nasty and dissonant and harsh and horrible, maybe angry and dissonant and nasty and harsh and horrible is exactly the emotion you're trying to convey at that particular point in your music. So, you know, it's not wrong to do it. It's just understanding what these relationships are and what the resulting sounds are that they will produce. So that's one thing I like to do. I like to, when I'm writing a piece of music, I like to put a little bit of a key change in like this from one section of a song to another. Sometimes I'll do it from a verse section to a chorus section, like I did here, going from the A section in the key of D to the B section in the key of F, just going a few notches around the dial. Sometimes I like to just keep everything in one key, apart from like one section of a song where, you know, we might be going from something that's written, I don't know, let's say again in the key of D, and then we go to, for a big dramatic moment for a middle 8 section or something like that. Let's just up sticks and move to the key of A flat or E flat, or wherever. It's a handy little thing to be able to do, because what it can do, as you can hear, is create a sense of movement and variety and interest in a chord sequence. And I think that's why many of the songs that I listen to and enjoy listening to, many of my favourite songs, employ this technique. So that's the circle of fifths and the chords in each of the keys, and that's how I employed this knowledge to come up with that chord sequence at the top of the video. Have a go yourself. Now you know what to do. Go and grab a copy of the circle of fifths from somewhere online, or just screenshot this video. I've been told one or two people do that, and use the information and write some cool music. Essentially what I'm saying is, now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the piece of music that you heard earlier in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, that explanation you've just seen there, and the jam track to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. $3 or £3-ish a month gets you access to all of these tabs and jam tracks and additional content that goes along with these YouTube videos. So of course, a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are listed down below, including the higher tier member of Patreon membership, where for, I think it's about $6 a month, you get a twice monthly Zoom hangout with me and the other tier 2 supporters, and some additional content that I'm putting up there, usually at the moment on a weekly basis, up on Patreon. So thank you to everyone who's supporting me in any of those ways. Massively appreciated. And that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it useful and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. Beer and chat, basically, is the order of the day there. No dress code, not that there ever would be. Just turn up, have a beer, and we chat about stuff. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.